Hello everyone. I got something a little bit different today. We see here an airplane, and inside the airplane, just imagine you got 8 million Jehovah's Witnesses in this airplane. In the cockpit, you have the governing body, the 7 men. You probably wonder what is the purpose of this picture and the information. I want to show you how critical it is being a Jehovah's Witness and have 8 men in the co-pilot seat operating the ship or the airplane. And I'm going to play an audio talk about teachers. And then they're going to jump into about the airplane, and we'll go from there. So sit back, enjoy.
Notice what God's Word tells us in 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 24. 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 24. And notice why imitate Jesus' way of teaching. There it says, "For a slave of the Lord does not need to fight, but needs to be gentle toward all, qualified to teach, showing restraint when wronged." So here it says a slave of the Lord needs to be qualified to teach. Now what does that mean? Well, first off, we recognize that elders need to be qualified to teach in the congregation. Why? Well, they need to be good teachers so that they can reprove, reprimand, they can incite our brothers to love, so that they can incite our brothers to fine works. But elders are not the only teachers. All Christians are teachers. Parents are teachers. Parents teach their children. Older women in the congregation teach the younger women in the congregation. Hence, every slave of the Lord needs to be qualified to teach. And so to teach successfully, we have to imitate Jesus' way of teaching. So we're going to spend a few moments this afternoon and discuss 7 ways that we can imitate Jesus' way of teaching. The number 1 way, be a good student. Be a good student of what? Notice what it says at John chapter 8 and verse 28 and how we can imitate Jesus. John 8 and verse 28. And there it says, Jesus then said, "After you have lifted up the Son of Man, then you will know that I am He, and that I do nothing of my own initiative, but just as the Father taught me, I speak these things." So Jesus was a good student. Student of what? A student of what Jehovah taught him. He was a student of God's Word, the Bible. And the same is true with us. To be good teachers, we have to be like Jesus, good students of God's Word, the Bible. We could illustrate it this way. If you were going to select someone to teach you how to fly a plane, would you select someone who had never studied how to fly planes? Absolutely not. No, you'd select someone who was a very good student of how to fly a plane. And not only would you want someone who was a good student of how to get a plane off the ground, but once you were up there, you would want to make sure he's a good student of how to land that plane. And likewise, we have to be good students of God's Word, the Bible, if we expect our teaching to have an impact on those who listen for us. So the first way we imitate Jesus' way of teaching is be a good student. Second way to imitate Jesus' way of teaching is use God's Word, the Bible. Using God's Word is vital if we're able to teach with authority. Using God's word is vital if we're going to reach the hearts of those whom we teach. So we need to become skilled at using God's word to Bible. And notice a big reason why. It's 2 Timothy chapter 3.
Okay. They said, what he just said was, you wouldn't want to get on an airplane unless you know about this person or men, how many hours they have flew, in which when they hire men to fly airplanes, they had to go through so many hours of training to fly these airplanes before they even hire them. People, the Watchtower has been on the ground for a long time. They haven't hardly even got off the air. The reason why, because they had flunked the course of the airplane testing. They crash landed in 1914. They crash landed in 1919. Crash landed in 1924. Crash landed in 1975. Crash landed. This generation will not pass away till Armageddon was supposed to start, and that was supposedly 1914, and 2014 will be 100 years. So the question is, the Watchtower has wrote so many stuff in their own literature. A bunch of y'all still believe they have the truth. You're putting your family life, your life, in 8 men that have crash land so many airplanes, and you, 8 million Jehovah's Witnesses, still want to get on the airplane, they ride with these men. I don't understand. How can you put faith in men that don't even know which direction to fly the airplane? They don't even know how to fly the right way. But you witnesses want them to be your pilot and carry you from here to Armageddon. And when you put your life and your 8 million brothers and sisters' life into the seats of an airplane, that's the co-pilots, airplane pilots, is the governing body, you are in serious trouble. Because I'm going to show you the content of these men. If you want to know how many times they have crashed land, how many times they have destroyed people's lives in airplanes, this is the true credentials. You can check these out and you'll see the truth. You're flying in the back seat of a plane and trusting your destination and to arrive safely to Armageddon, and putting trust in these 8 men, you need to wake up. This is the truth. You can go on here and see the history of the Watchtower, the history of the governing body, which 90% of the stuff that you'll find on here is produced by the Watchtower. They wrote books, they wrote magazines, they wrote different literature, proving that they are liars. And if you want to have true salvation, like that person was talking about, you need to use the Bible. You can't use the Watchtower literature. It is poison. It's detrimental. It causes problems between families. Causes problems. Anybody reading the Watchtower literature. When you put the Bible in second place, what God has put out for us in the first place, and put the Watchtower in front of the Bible, you are doomed. You are flying in a plane with 8 men that will totally going to take you and your brothers and sisters all over the world into the worst plane crash that you ever imagined, because you cannot pick up the internet. You won't pick up your computer to go on the internet to see those credentials that I showed you that is the truth. The Watchtower is flying you to your death, and you will not see God's kingdom. You will not be there, because you're putting your faith into men that cannot fly an airplane, and they cannot get you to the real path of Christ and His Father. You can believe me, and if you don't want to, just keep flying, and you will crash and you will burn. That's the reason a bunch of us have got off this airplane, because we found out these pilots, these governing body, are dangerous. And they will take you down with them. So it's your life. So have you really learned everything about them? Have you really learned about the books the Watchtower has written in the past? Because if you find one lie, 2 lies, you're going to find, I guarantee, so many lies that it would make Santa Claus list of naughty kids would be a shame. I mean, a list of so many lies, and you still want to call this the truth? And you want to say the new light changed all the lies they have told? What? New light changed all the lies what the Watchtower has told. You know something? You can't keep believing that. You will crash. And there is no second chance, and there will be no parachute for you. Thank you, and have a nice day.